As we have been following developments in Israel and Gaza, we want to now go there and check in once again with Emily Francis, who is the host of Holy Land Uncovered on I-24 News. Many of you might recognize and remember Emily from her years here as a reporter in New York, where she and I actually worked together as colleagues at WCBS years ago. And Emily joins us now from Jaffa in the southern part of Tel Aviv. Great to see you once again, Emily. Why don't we start with just
Thank you
update us.
again for having me.
Absolutely.
Listen, since we last spoke, this week it's painful, it's hard. I personally am trying my best to keep it together, and being there for many of my colleagues that are having to work while losing loved ones all around, and trying to be an ear, really honestly, for my colleagues. So I am honestly trying to hold it together in that way. But it's sad. It's very, very hard to see. We had literally about this in this area tonight. I mean, this is the reality that we're living in. I'm sure you're seeing it all play out on television in New York, but it's very hard. It's very sad. People are traumatized. Here in Jaffa, where I am, this is, again, a mixed neighborhood of Arabs and Jews together. It's one of the neighborhoods in Israel. We're speaking to even Arab friends in the streets. They are so sad. It is so hard. Nobody could work. Nobody could be employed. Everybody is just traumatized and honestly not knowing what's going to come next.
Yeah, I mean, speak a little bit more about that, Emily, because I know you sent us a couple of clips of video of people that you've just gone out and spoken with in your neighborhood. Yeah. Let me play a little bit of a clip of what a couple of people told you. One of them, a young woman visiting from LA, and the other, a young mother, really, but whose sons are now fighting with the IDF.
That's correct.
If you're with kids, like, you tell them, like, okay, like, it's all okay, and you have to act cool, but, like, in reality, like, it's a scary thing, I guess.
We're helpless in terms of what we can do for our children there on the other end of the phone, if we're lucky enough to speak to them. So I just pray that they are being looked after by the army, and I have to put my faith in that's happening, even though it's very hard to put your faith in anything right now.
I mean, Emily, what has struck you as you go out and just engage in conversations with your neighbors?
Listen, I mean, this is the way in Israel. This is one of the things, while, again, it's a nightmare to watch it unfolding, but this is the heart and soul of this country. I have been reporting in locations what people do when they go through this. It brings people together in a way that you cannot possibly put into words, other than 9/11, right? But this is a country where this happens over and over again. It wasn't 9/11 once that we all lived through, and we were all kind and nice to each other, right? So, in that aspect, it's what's making people strong and making people more empowered into what needs to happen, but it's painful.
Let me just ask you quickly, Emily, before we run out of time, whether you've been watching what has been happening in Gaza with the hundreds of thousands of people fleeing south, and really the growing humanitarian crisis there.
Listen, any humanitarian crisis is painful to watch to unfold, but I want to be, very clear to all the people, out there. This is not, the Israeli army is the most humanitarian army. We've asked the UN to help. This Hamas terror organization, we drop notes from airplanes. Then we give them maps on how to get to the border. But these Hamas terror cells are hiding missiles in hospitals and homes, and are willing to put themselves between their daughters and their wives to save themselves. So it's a crisis, but it's made worse by the fact that these terrorists are preventing these women and children from going to safety. And it's really, we heard about what happened in a hospital. It's been, that was a failed Hamas missile that hit that hospital.
And I can tell that just from speaking with you and the emotion, Emily, that you convey. And I want to wish you safety and all the best to you, your family, and your neighbors. And thanks again for coming on and talking with us.
Of course. Thank you.
All right.